A Trow are also Trow or Trows, a malignant or mischievous fairy or spirit in the folkloric traditions of the Orkney and Shetland Islands. Trows may be regarded as monstrous giants at times, or quite the opposite, short-statured fairies dressed in grey. Trows are nocturnal creatures like the troll of Scandinavian legend, with which the Trow shares many similarities. They venture out of their trowy nose earthen mound dwellings, solely in the evening, and often enter households as the inhabitants sleep. Trows traditionally have a fondness for music, and folktales tell of their habit of kidnapping musicians or luring them to their dens. The Trow in the Scots language is defined as a sprite or fairy of mischievous nature in dictionaries of Scots, particularly Orkneyan and Shetland dialects. The standard etymology derives the term Trow from troll, Norwegian troll, Old Norse troll of Scandinavian folklore, to Norwegian troll can signify not just a giant, but a spectre, ghost, spokes as well. 4-5. As an alternate etymology, John Jameson's Scottish dictionary conjectured that the word trow may be a corruption of Scandinavian draft. 6b. It may be worth noting that the Norwegian sea draft, Norwegian draft, Danish soidra 10 soidra 11, was either a subtype or equivalent to the sea troll/sea trolled. According to 18th century tracts by Dano-Norwegians, the word drow also occurs in the Shetland Norn language, where it means huldrefolk, the hidden people, fairies, troll folk. 14, or ghosts. 16, as drow is not a Norse language spelling. Linguist Jacob Jacobson proposed it was taken from the common Scots term trow, altered to drow by assimilation with Old Norse drafgar or Norwegian draft. 14, the reconstructed Shetland word would be *drog if it did descend from Old Norse drafgar, but this is unattested, nor was it adopted into the Norrene vocabulary to supersede the known form. It was considered taboo to speak about trozy. It was also considered unlucky to catch sight of a trow, though auspicious to hear one speaking. 18. Their portrayed appearance can vary greatly, in some telling gigantic and even multi-headed, as are some giants in English lore. 19, else small or human-sized like ordinary fairies, but dressed in grey. 20. Trows consist of two kinds, the hill trows, land trows, and sea trows. 21, and the two kinds are said to be mortal enemies. 22. Of the hill-dwelling types, it is said they can only appear out of their dwellings nose equals knolls trow nose after sunset, and if they miss the opportunity to return before sunrise, they do not perish, but must await above ground and bide his time, until the glood of the sun disappears again. 23. The Trows are fond of music and constantly play the fiddle themselves. 18. Sometimes a human learns such tunes, and there are traditional tunes purported to have been learned from the supernatural creatures. Cf. section Troll tunes below. Tales are also told of human fiddlers being abducted by Trows to their mounds, and although released after what seems a brief stay, many long years have elapsed in the outside world and the victim turns to dust. 24-25, or chooses to die. There are varying descriptions concerning the sea Trow. An early account is that of the Trow, Latin Troasi rect Troas f of Stronce, as described by Joe Ben, i.e. John or Joseph Ben S.G. description of the Orkney Islands. 1529. It was a maritime monster resembling a colt whose entire body was cloaked in seaweed with a coiled or matted coat of hair, sexual organs like a horse's, and known to engage in sexual intercourse with the women of the island. 31-35. The sea trow of Orkney is the ugliest imaginable, according to W. Trail Denison, who says that it has been represented as a scaly creature with matted hair. 36. Having monkey-like face and sloping head. It was said to be frail-bodied with disproportionately huge sets of limbs, disc-shaped feet round as a millstone, with webbings on their hands and feet, causing them to move with a lumbering and wobbling slow gait. 22-37. However, in Shetland Darmokel sea trow, a great evil spirit that dwelled in the depths. 39-38, was said to take on the shape of a woman, at least in some instances. 41. It is blamed for awaiting in the depths and stealing from the fish caught on fishermen's lines. 22, and otherwise feared for causing storms or causing ill luck to fishermen. 38. In the form of the wailing woman, she portends some misfortune, befalling the witness/audience 38. According to Samuel Hibbert, the sea trow was a local version of the Necker, and he specified that it was reputed to be decked with various stuff from out of the sea, especially Fuci fucus spp. Of seaweed 42, whose larger forms near shore are known as tang in Shetland 43-44, and though Hibbert does not make the connection, Emarwick equated the sea trow with the tangy as already noted. Most mounds in Orkney are associated with Mount Dweller s Hobboon, Old Norse Hopuin, Norwegian Hopund, living inside them 46, and though local law does always specify the dweller is commonly the trow 47. A reputedly trow-haunted mound may not in fact be a burial mound. The Longhow in Tankeness, a glacial mound, was believed to contain trows and thus avoided after dark. 48. A group of mounds around Trow Glen in Hay are also geological formations, but feared for its trows throughout the valley. 49. And also unapproached after dark. 50. The stone circle on Fetla has been dubbed the Haltadens, meaning limping dance, since according to legend they represent a group of petrified music-loving trows who were so engrossed by dancing to the Troy fiddlers' tunes that they failed to hide before dawn's break. 51. On the mainland in Canisbay, Caithness is a mire of Troskery associated with trows. Some Shetland fiddle tunes are said to have come to human fiddlers when they heard the trows playing, and are known as troll tunes. 51, 52, 53. A selection is offered in the anthology Dar Miri Dancers 1985. 54. Dar Trila No, the Knoll of the Trolls is one example. 55. Dar Troy Burn is also an alleged troll tune, though its composition is attributed to Friedman Stickle. 56. This apparent contradiction is resolved in the case of Dar Trow's Reel, which was allegedly a tune that another man reputedly obtained from a trow, and he had whistled the tune over to Stickle on a different boat for him to set down the score. 55. Dar Piri Husin under Dar Hill, the Little House under the Hill, is yet another troll tune as well. 51. Another troll tune, Wynedipla, performed by Tom Anderson on his album with Ali Bain, The Silver Bow. A Kunal trow or king trow is a type of trow in the lore of Unst Shetland. The Kunal trow is alleged to be a race without females, and said to wander after dark, and sometimes found weeping due to the lack of companionship. But they do take human wife once in their lives, and she invariably dies after giving birth to a son. The Kunal trow would subsequently require the service of a human wet nurse, and may abduct a midwife for this purpose. 57, 58. They are said to consume earth formed into shapes of fish and fowl, even babies, which taste and smell like the real thing. 57. One king trow famously haunted a Brock ruin. Another married a witch who extracted all the trow's secrets and gave birth to Gampha astral body and Finis, an apparition who appears in the guise of someone whose death is imminent, yet she has cheated death with her arts. Ben C. Troas bore resemblance to the anciently known incubus, as it seems to have occupied the visions of the female sex, as noted by John Graham Dale 1835-29. The learning of music from fairies is recognized as a recurring theme in Scandinavian and Celtic folklore. Examples in Irish tradition relate how a Lutheracan dialect form of Leprechaun or Puka teaches tunes. 59. Like the Shetlandic trow, who lets his music be heard from his fairy mound or otherwise. Such tales classifiable as migratory legends. Type 4091. Music taught by fairy fiddle on the wall under Bo Arnquist's modified system 60J. The tale of a fiddler being taken to a fairy mound by fairies or trows is known by several versions in Shetland, but has also been collected from Orkney and the Scottish mainland Inverness, and the group is assigned F24. Fiddler enlisted to play for fairy dancers under Alan Bruford's provisional classification scheme. Book author Joan Day 1991 speculates that the tradition concerning the Trows may be based in part on the Norse invasions of the Northern Isles. She states that the conquest by the Vikings sent the indigenous dark-haired Picts into hiding, and that many stories exist in Shetland of these strange people, smaller and darker than the tall blonde Vikings, who, having been driven off their land into sea caves, emerged at night to steal from the new landowners. 62L. Shetland folklore spoke of the presence of the Petches mythologized version of the Picts inside the fairy Knowles Trow who could be heard clinking their tools on silver and gold. Saxby 1932, pp. 89, 186.